Hello everybody in the SIYLI community. It's Rich Fernandez here, the CEO of SIYLI, and I'm with former Minister Norbu, who is the Minister of Education here in Bhutan. And I'm so happy that you could join us for a little bit of a conversation today because for those of you that don't know, really Minister Norbu was the visionary who brought us into the country of Bhutan, into the Ministry of Education, and asked that we train all 10,000 teachers in this nation. So you may be wondering, because I was wondering when I got that invitation, and the first night I landed when we had dinner together, I literally was wondering what SIY, what mindfulness-based emotional intelligence, science-based mindfulness and emotional intelligence curriculums have to offer a culture such as yours that has such an ancient and beautiful tradition of mindfulness. So perhaps our audience is wondering the same thing I was wondering. What did SIY have to offer you?
No, I'm very delighted that SY has come to Bhutan, and already now we are rolling out the training programs to our 10,000 teachers. And congratulations that today you are entered into a contract again to do the same training to all the public civil servants of the country. So that's about maybe 70% of the entire government employees.
Yes.
So that's huge, and it's going to be a huge impact for Bhutan.
Yeah.
Why SIYLI in Bhutan? True, Bhutan has about 2,500 years of this heritage that really focuses on important values, I think, of empathy, of tolerance, of interdependence. And so we in Bhutan, we take these values very seriously at a societal level, and especially so in the education, in educating our children. We focus on these values. We do a lot because we have this rich heritage, but we are not sure whether the impact that it has today on the youth are the same as it had impact with the same pedagogy. And we now wanted to explore new ways of maybe presenting these values or kindling these values in our children. And when I came across SIYLI, I was delighted that because SIYLI offered science to it, SIYLI offered a pedagogy to it, a modern pedagogy to it, and SIYLI offered accessibility to every common people, students and teachers. So I thought that was the most suitable program, and I'm happy that I played a small part in bringing SIYLI.
You played a major part. I mean, it was really visionary. We landed, just for a little bit of history, we landed about a year ago in Bhutan for the first time. Yi Zhao and I, Yi Zhao Zhang is our local, she's living here in Bhutan, team leader for this project. And literally the first night at dinner, you said all these things, and you said, so if you have a model where you can reach our teachers, let's do this. And so we've done the trainer, basically, model, where we took 125 of the best teachers that were nominated, and took the last year to kind of train and certify them on Search Inside Yourself. It's still early days because we haven't done the full rollout to the 10,000, which is going to happen in about 3 short months. But have you heard any good feedback so far? Have you heard anything from the community about SIY and perhaps some of the ways it's being received?
I keep myself, because this is a program that is very dear to me, and I keep in touch with the teachers, the principals, the education officials, how it's going, and the feedback I hear are very impressive, and I'm told already it's having impact on their personal lives and definitely in their professional lives as they deal and transact with the students in the classrooms, being enabling themselves to be more empathetic, more understanding, more tolerant, and therefore these values that as they imbibe themselves, these values are then hopefully rubbed on to the students. Very important values.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So that if we can imagine a day, in the near future or even the further future, 3, 5, 10 years, when all 10,000 teachers are trained, what would a success look like for you with this effort?
Well, I think first of all, we would have graduates that, as we vision out, not just skilled engineers, not just skilled doctors, but empathetic doctors, doctors who can relate really intimately with that bond with the patients, with the different stakeholders. So skilled doctors, but good human doctors, engineers, good engineers, but good engineers. So basically, looking at graduates like this.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. You know, one of the things, Bhutan is actually the first whole education ministry that we've ever really worked with at this level. But I think it can serve as an example to the world in many ways. People have been inquiring about it, for example. They said, what are you doing in Bhutan? How can we replicate that? You know, here in Nigeria, we got a request, we got interest in Dubai, so around the world, people are starting to notice, this approach that you've been taking. Maybe the last thing I might ask is then, what could you offer to anyone from other parts of the world that are wondering, is this a useful thing for my education system? Should we be bringing this into the schools in our nation or something like this? Anything, any thoughts to offer them?
Well, I think what is catching on all over the world, because the circumstances, the conditions are becoming very conclusive, that education must cater not just to the brain but also to the heart, if I may use the analogy. So therefore, I think the role of the education, the original role of the education is to make good human beings, to help people become good human beings and competent, skilled human beings as well. So I think SIYLI's program supports that core vision of education. And I think what I would say, if I may, to the rest of the world is just do it, and the impact, the value that you see would give you that impetus and the motivation to carry on.
Yeah. Well, wonderful. Thank you so much for the bigger thank you for your vision, your leadership, the inspiration to do this for all the teachers. I really sincerely hope it does have a lasting generational impact here in Bhutan. And I hope it's a great example, that Bhutan is a great example for the world. So thank you so much, Minister.
Thank you for doing this for Bhutan.
Yes, thank you.